This video is sponsored by Christoph Ray. For excellent low-poly horror games, check the link in the description below for some of his work. What's up, y'all? Boogie Knight here, and welcome back to the Lorethrough. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined me on this crazy journey and didn't mind my nerdery. So, when we last left off Raven Renegade, we were now into the depths. So, what I would like to do in this episode, well, preferably I'd like to get to Blighttown, but I want to first and foremost go back and explore as much as I can and kind of remap this area, because I feel like there might have been some rushing involved, and, well, hell, I know there was some rushing involved. So, I want to kind of go back to the beginning, if I can find it, and then remake my way back around. We haven't explored this area, so there's one NPC we need to handle. Oop. You know, this would be... Do we have any missiles in our arsenal? I don't think we do. We might. I thought we had some... We have throwing knives. Okay. So let's... Or not. That's cool too. Let's go ahead and back up. We ran into these weird dudes early. In the depths. And this kind of works to our benefit, the fact that we only have one bonfire in the game, in this particular level, because if we can successfully do a full clear, we'll be at our leisure to kind of explore everything. Whoa, and we have more. And something I do want to touch upon while we're playing this is I talked about a little bit last time of doing some kind of mapping, or talking about the, I guess, the geography of Lorethrough. And now that I'm in ownership of the Design Works book, I've kind of been just kind of getting in touch with my inner nerd. And you're still there. I can definitely see how my Drake sword is kind of becoming a little less decent. So we will work on our skill level of the battle axe now that we have the large ember. Anyway, so it's looking quiet. That's a wall. So let's talk a little bit about the overall design of what we've seen so far within the Souls, within DS. Something's going on outside. What is this? Okay. Should have seen it coming. Should have seen it coming. Okay. That was... Yeah, you kicked that. I spent an entire time talking about minding my surroundings and what happens. I got drawn by a shiny object. Why am I no longer walking? How do I... Hang on, let me go back here and see what we have to do to toggle our... That's all keypad. Yeah, that's not what I want in key settings. We'll figure it as we go. There we go. Nope, never mind. There we go. Anyway, so from what we have seen so far... okay, this is where we are. We're right where we encountered the first butcher. That's good news, because maybe this is how we can find our way back up. Exhibit A. So let's talk a little bit about the overall geography of of what we've seen so far. Wow, you pack a wall, my friend. So far, we have seen Upper Berg, Lower Berg, parts of Sen's Fortress. Oh, let's try to see if we can sneak in a backstab. Still working on that. Special thanks to Morgues, by the way, for giving me some ideas on how to master the parry and riposte, as well as dealing with the spear hollow. So with Lorethrough being completely based on a cliffside, it's pretty interesting to see how everything just lines up for itself. Ooh, we have a sack. I believe we already talked about them in the last episode. Now we can get a little... I think that's where we fell last time, so let's... Actually, while we're here, and kind of doing the old looky-loo, I think I want to go back to Firelink Shrine as well. There we go. Here's what I'm looking for. So, let's talk to this cove really quickly, because this is who I wanted to talk to.
Thank you. I would have been a supper without you. Been eaten alive. I shudder to think. Thank you. Thank you dearly. I am Lorethrough, with the Great Swamp. I will not forget my debt to you.
Is there anything else he wants to say to us?
Oh, hello there. I'm fine, thanks to you.
Okay, so, Laurentius of the Great Swamp. We know because the dwellers of the Great Swamp deal with pyromancy, so Laurentius, we'll get to learn more about him, will eventually be able to teach us various aspects of pyromancy if that's the avenue we want to go down. Is there any way we can go further up? I think we need to go back down here into the ooze. Anyway, so I want to go back to Firelink to... Why am I... Down, Poochie. So anyway, so onto the geography. We already know that Lorethrough is precariously built upon a cliffside, with Upper Berg, the parish, and the Great Church kind of dominating. Come on. Why is it? Oh, it's probably because I'm in the water. Move a little slower. There we go. So, I think it's really cool how, for basically a big old sewer that is the depths, precariously based, just, that is where we fell last time. How it's just based so precariously down below. If you follow the geography, you are actually able to track everything. And everything else that's further down the cliffside. So other areas that we'll get to eventually, like... What's attacking me? Like the Great Hollow, and I suspect even Blighttown, you will be able to see other areas. Like adjacent areas. That was close. This would be tough for me not to want to rest at the bonfire at Firelink, but if I do that, enemies are going to respawn, and that's really going to inhibit our search. This should also give us almost a straight line to the boss fight. Now, when I get back onto the depths, I will, once we kind of figure out our mapping area, I will have to rest at the bonfire because I want to be human so I can do a summon. Because there are some summons for the next boss fight. And this boss fight is reputed to be quite the burden. So, we just emerged from the depths. We're in Lower Berg. We're heading back up to Firelink through the aqueduct. So it's almost as if the aqueduct is an upper part of the depths. Maybe the depths was just an aqueduct, part of the aqueducts by itself before it fell into ruin, and then it was separated from the rest of Undead Brook. I don't know. So I find that very interesting. And further down from through the depths will be Blighttown. So, if we can deduce all this, everything is built cohesively into the cliffside, going down, as well as other parts of Lorethrough being part of this valley, from Darkroot Garden to Sen's Fortress, and whatnot. In fact, the only thing that's really on the other side that we really don't have access to from this side is Anor Londo. And Anor Londo, for all intents and purposes, is its own world, but this also ties into what Solaire said about other dimensions. And this is going to become a big topic as we go into the Artorias of the Abyss DLC. I think what I'll probably do, and this is just speculation, I'd love to get y'all's input on it, is before I do Sen's Fortress, I might want to explore a little bit of Darkroot Garden, because there's a few things we want to do. But the big reason we're here is there's two different things. One, there's a character that wasn't Laurentius, even though here he sits right now.
Well, I see you made it out. Yeah, I made it out safely too. I have my pyromancy in a great swamp, so I can use the manage with a bit of care. Oh yeah, by the way, I can share my spells with you. I think you have a knack for it. All you need are the materials. I'll be pleased to help you. Unless you find the magic's unsavory.
Magics aren't unsavory, so let's go and say yes for now.
Oh really?
Oh,
but
bollocks.
I'm on the fringe. I only with.
Oh, shoot. Let's see if we can do that again. I should have...
Oh hello. I'm pleased. Oh, and I'll be pleased.
Yeah, okay. There we go.
Oh really?
Nope.
But I'm on the.
Hang on. I'm trying to say... Let's see what
Oh hello.
Okay.
I'm pleased.
See what
Oh,
you say.
and if I'll be pleased.
Okay, so now we're gonna say yes.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure that they'll be of some use, some assistance. Here, first take this.
Okay, so here we go. Pyromancy Flame. This is good, because this is our intro if we do want to go down the avenue of Pyromancy spells, which I might consider down the pipe.
Flame from the Great Swamp. Now you're a fully fledged pyromancer. Why, let's get started right now.
Yeah, with your dick accent in, mate. Okay, so we have some pyromancy spells that we can purchase. Fire, orb, combustion, and other things. So let's go ahead and look at some of this stuff. Standard fireball, we can use it 6 times, and I believe this means that we can use these before we heal up, or before we rest at a bonfire, something like that. So I think we'll actually purchase 1. Pause, but fireballs make them effective against corporeal beasts of undead. Okay.
Goodbye then. Come back.
So I think what we need to do... Mind you, I am not a magic user. I don't know what goes on with this. I've watched a little bit of E&B, but it might not work with our character. But anyways, okay, so let's go ahead and look at the Pyromancy Flame in our inventory and see what it has to say. Large Ember. We might make a quick pit stop back by the parish and give this to Andre so we can do more upgrades. Here we go, Fire Orb. A Pyromancy which improves Fireball, Hurl Fire Orb. The flaming Fire Orb explodes upon impact, causing fire splash damage in a spectacle which seems to symbolize the strength of the fire manipulating. So we can't use it, okay. We'll worry about this later. But what I first want to talk about is this area here. That was not what I was anticipating. This is something... Okay, so this original area, this flooded area here, we'll get used to what that sound effect is later on. This particular area was actually originally going to be where the bonfire was going to be. this flooded area. And according to the design works, this statue here was going to be what leads to the end of the game, and that Andre of Astora was going to originally move it. But then they scrapped that idea and brought in some characters later on. So if we look close enough at the statue for, not really sure, this could be Velka, the goddess of sin. It could be Gwyn's mother, although a lot of fans were saying that, well, Gwyn can't have a mother. Like, why not? Just because Gwyn was a lord doesn't mean he can't have parents. So I found that very interesting about how they kind of scrapped the idea that Andre would have a more titular role, particularly since he looks a lot like Gwyn. So, now we're going to go back over here, because now that we've beaten Capra, we have 3 new characters here. Important characters. I'm not going to talk to Petrus right now. I want to talk to these other characters, because I don't know what will trigger things, and you just kind of look at me unknowing. So, these are Vince and Nito, or this could be Nito, and that could be... not Nito. Whatever. This woman in white should tell us everything. Okay, you don't say much.
What have we here? You look awfully raggedy. Times are grim. The least you can do is look sharp. Don't you dare meet my lady like that.
Shut up.
You might scare her off for good.
Anyways, so this is Rhea of Thorland. Now, while these look to be humans, we already know that Petrus is human. But the interesting thing here about Rhea is she is undead.
You are undead as well. We've no time to fraternize. I have my mission and you no doubt have yours. We must not let this curse overcome us.
So we'll run into Rhea a few
Did I not
times.
explain the urgency of our tasks? Or are you so uncouth as to lack such judgment? By the looks of you, I should think not.
Okay, so let's see what Petrus says now.
Oh, hello. My guests have finally arrived. I will be departing with them shortly. So, I'm afraid I will be saying goodbye soon. It was a pleasure.
Anything else you want to say, Petrus?
Oh, miracle.
Okay.
Rhea is the youngest daughter of the good house of Thurland. Those young knights are her old schoolmates, but I'm not sure what to make of them. I'm afraid they may be a bad influence.
Does that mean that they are undead?
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
You okay? Okay. What are you?
Oh, you again. What business have you? I don't suppose we can help, though. We accompany my lady on her righteous mission. It is quite a chore, but
Nico,
I'm
not
stuck
Nito.
with her. And Nico, too. I can't very well abandon them now.
Which makes me wonder if these two are undead as well as Rhea. Once again, we've already come to the conclusion that, you know, we waste... There's no point in going back up to the parish right now. So let's go ahead and head back to the depths and see about remapping the area. Once we get the map figured out, then we can rest in the bonfire, reverse our hollowing. And then, once again, we'll go over this area later on. Let's take a quick second and look down the cliffside. So by looking here, going through here, we have Lower Undeadburg somewhere down here. Probably where that wall is, to our kind of our 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock degree position. That's probably where the Lower Berg is. So if we can deduce that's the case, the depth should be somewhere down below, possibly in this cliffside. So I don't see any reason why the aqueducts could not be an extension of the depths. Hence why it's flooded and it is a sewer. And then further down will be our entrance to Blighttown. So let's go ahead and we should talk to the Crestfallen Warrior again, because I want to, or the Undead Male Merchant after, since we've beaten Capra. But I do find this fascinating how everything is linked together. I mean, it seems very simple just to kind of be like, well, everything's linked together. But when you think about other games, how intricately are things put piece by piece? I mean, how can you kind of stack things up like a matryoshka and find them nesting so well with one another. Yeah, so I am excited about having the Design Works book and looking at interviews with Miyazaki, as well as seeing some of the drawings. For example, there was a rough sketch of the Capra Demon that looked like the bones were masses of humanity. Why have you respawned? Is this because I'm in a new area again? That's interesting. So maybe by coming to a new area, all the enemies respawn again. It's not just bonfire-based? I don't know. So much for me doing a decent... Well, we still can do a decent mapping, I guess. I don't know if that's for all the Souls games, where if you depart an area, it's kind of like resting at a bonfire. They all respawn. I don't know. But I guess it's a chance to take on the Butcher again. Anything over here? There you are. Oh, yes, dogs. There we go. Deal with the pooch. Now deal with the hollow. The dogs will always be more dangerous than the hollow. Oop. Okay, hang on. Butcher, where you be at? Maybe the Butcher's down here. Okay, yeah, we have... Everything has respawned. So, I want y'all, for those that do like the Souls games as much as I, because the ones that don't probably couldn't care less. Think about the overall geography. I mean, I'm sure there's drawings out there that you can Google and find out more about how everything is set up, but I'd be curious to see for those that have done their own sketches. I mean, once again, I probably will, because I want to see how it kind of looks according to my thought process. So, Laurentius is gone. So far we've saved Laurentius and the gentleman from Lowerburg. I forget his name. The one who is on the hunt for Big Hat Logan. And we will meet up with Big Hat Logan later on down the pike. If we get to Blighttown tonight, I'll be very happy about it. And even before we get to the boss fight, there is something I want to take down. We're not going to trigger that again. Oh, it's already on the ground. Get back. Get our stamina back up. If y'all want, I mean, I wasn't planning on being part of the pyromancy group, but I mean, I understand that it is essential to have. I just don't know if I have the... Okay, never mind. So, let's go ahead and try it. Yeah, let's go ahead, and we can't do anything here. But look at this window for a second. Part of me wonders if this was maybe a residence. You see some windows and some small doors, very reminiscent of Lowerburg. So maybe, possibly, you know what, let's give it a go. Nope, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so we probably have... Oh, it's probably because we don't have any spells allocated to pyromancy. That's just the glove. So let's go ahead and clear this area out, and then we'll... You know what? Sod it. Firearm, there we go. so that is just a weapon, and I suspect... Change order. Okay, whatever. It's there. And we've got stuff to do, places to go. I think I can pretty safely deduce where we need to go before we can get to the boss fight. But there is, from what I understand, I think when we were in the chamber, I saw evidence of a channeler, not a chandler. Not sure what that. Ooh, that was an interesting attack. Come on, sludge. These things take a lot of punishment. Now, are these remnants of the Great Swamp, or are these just mutants? Were they hollow? Are they evolved hollow? Alright, 2 for 2. The sooner we can get our large ember over to Andre, the sooner we can start upping our... I wonder if all these are on the ground now, as opposed to... So there's our bonfire. So let's use that as a marker. And now let's go back down here and find the chandler. Okay, somebody's... Wow. Why are these rats hiding from me? Is it because they killed their mother? A great axe. Is that it's probably a two-hander. Let's take a look. We even look... Hang on. Okay, so we didn't even look at this. Pyromancy Flame. A flame medium used by Great Swamp Pyromancers. Pyromancers arouse this flame to produce various fire arts. Equip Pyromancer Flame to produce Pyromancy. Attune Pyromancy from a scroll at the bonfire. Okay. So we have to do it at the bonfire, so that explains everything. But let's look at the Great Axe. This Great Axe is a veritable mass of iron. Its weight sends foes flying, but makes it difficult to handle without inhuman strength. Any miss makes one very invulnerable, as each swing requires the full force of the body. Okay. So now we can attune bonfires, or attune spells at bonfires, so we can equip the fireball. It might be worth... Oh, you sneaky git. Yep, I see. Interesting how they're... Maybe is it because of OP? I don't know. Sewer chamber key. That might have been what I missed earlier with using the master key, but let's look at that really quickly. In any community, a few bad apples are sure to exhibit insatiable greed. If they were turned undead and banished to the depths, there we go. Would they reconsider their ways? Use this key to see for yourself. Okay, so that sheds a little bit more light. And we have humanity. Let's actually go. This almost looks like a trap, but... Soul of a nameless soldier. We already picked... Oh... That, I think, is the entrance to the boss fight. We're not going to go there just yet. We have a little bit more we want to look at. Is this the way? Okay, this area. Nope, okay, that's the way we came. So let's go more there's another staircase we can use. Not human yet. Maybe we do have to go back the way we came. Oh, there we go. So back down here. That's what we were looking for. Let's say there's... Everything comes full circle. And down here, there'd be basilisks. I want to find out... I want to... Once again, I felt like I was rushing a little bit more than I should have. Mainly just because I had been recording so long. And it was really late. Oh. That's... Okay, now that it's on land, we had a little bit of an ability to see its attacks in more of a light. Okay, those are definitely bigger than the small ones. We were able to kill the big daddy rat, or the queen mother rat, from here. That might be why the smallest ones are... No, I'm trying to fight you. So when we get back to the bonfire, we will attune our spell, and then also human up. So we can summon, because once again, I know Solaire is available for summoning, and I believe Lorethrough is, and we are getting more humanity. This is glorious. Now, before we do anything else, I do want to go back here and talk to this character.
Hi, Shemai. We meet again.
So, Domhall of Xena is the only character from Xena will ever meet in the course of this game, from what I have read.
I'm afraid I don't see anything here.
So let's see what items he has. We got more gold pine resin. I think we have gold pine resin
Well,
already.
it's a shame. Come back again. I'm always not every trade. There'll be more in store for us. Someday. Sometime.
Because I think I do want to use gold pine resin on the gaping dragon. We already... Okay, so we do have that. So we do know that dragons are susceptible to lightning, as is evidence from Gwyn and the Warriors of Sunlight. There's not much lore on this character, on Domhall, except he's a little bit eccentric. And that he sells a lot of crystal things. Crystal greatsword, crystal shield, standard arrow, gauntlets of the vanquisher. I believe he sells more items when we start killing bosses.
But no.
But I could be wrong. Oh, hello. Yeah, you go ahead and just... There we go. I wonder why the rats are... The little ones are running from me as opposed to the big ones. Okay, so, here we go again. We're a little... So there's this fog wall that leads into... the big old chamber. There's that sound effect. Oh boy. And I hear him doing his dance. Where are you? I think he's one level down. But look at this. So seeing that crack in their wall goes to show that while this is completely underground, look at these extensions and these buttresses and columns. They look almost exactly like the aqueduct, so this has to be an extension of Lowerburg. Maybe it was even an emergency evacuation. I don't know. I'm probably reading too much into it. But that's okay. So we need to go down here and deal with the summoner. Otherwise, from what I understand, the summoner will aggro the boss. And bosses are a big enough pain that we do not want to have him any more aggro than possible. And then we'll go back to the bonfire. Never mind, that will actually take us to the boss fight. Where are you, scumbag? Maybe it was through that other fog wall. Yeah, okay, so that is the boss chamber. Where are you? Maybe it was near that other fog wall. I don't know. I think these are where you summon, Solaire and company, but I hear him talking. Where are you? Maybe you're above me. Maybe that fog wall was the one that took me there. I don't know. Either way. I don't like it, though. I know. Nobody likes it. Something over there. Okay, so maybe that is... I don't see anything. Is there another way around? Okay, so maybe that's where we need to go in order to... Yep, I can hear the channeler somewhere. So, let's hug this wall. That takes us back up the way we came. Shortcut ahead, okay. Down there. So I think we understand where we need to go. So, I apologize, there's really not too much lore that I can talk about right now. I mean, there's nothing in the depths. It's just a maze of sewers and enemies and things. So there's not too much I can really discuss other than the architecture. Which is fine for me, I can talk about that for a while. So this... Okay, so those are the rats. That's the gate. You're just gonna go ahead and do a roll, that's cool too. Yeah, so I hear the channeler, so this might be where we need to go. There's a fog wall here. I hope that doesn't get rushed to the boss fight. Nope, okay, this is where we do need to go, because there it is. Two hits. Okay, cool. So... So it didn't do its little, jump and jack flash dance, and that's okay. I'm more than happy about that. Rats are pain. So, yeah, okay, so we were looking at it from overhead. That's why we heard everything. We got the small dude here. So let's go ahead and finish exploring this area before we bonfire and then summon the cavalry. You son of a beach. That's twice I've been ambushed. We got more humanity. We got 2 humanity, so I don't know how we got 2 humanity up there. Ooh. A large Titanite shard. That will help our battle axe immensely. Anyways, the reason I wanted to trigger the Rhea thing and more humanity, good lord, it's Christmas. It's Christmas in Undeadville. Okay, so we were just... Okay, so we're right underneath where we were topside. Now I'm nervous. But where does this go? I feel like there's an ambush up ahead. Might want to get our axe on. We're chipping away. Gotta get out of this. There we go. Nothing back here. Where does this go? Unbelievable. Of course. Trap. Always trap. Where are we now? I hear Bez. Oh, hell. At least they're easy to kill. So we're a few levels down. That ain't good. Of course. I should have suspected it. We already fell for that trap once in the very beginning. Okay, let's get... First things first, let's get out of the gutter. Out of this cloud! Here. I got 2 of them. Go ahead and kite them out one at a time. How did I not one-shot you? Woman of the killing jar, and then... Bam. That's what I was trying to avoid, but of course, like an idiot, I fell right into it. That's okay, though. Survived this onslaught, and now we can proceed on our merry way. I don't hear anything. It's so easy to get turned around in these places. Ew. Got a couple down here. Yeah, you come up here. You come into my killing jar, and then... get out of his way. This should take us back to the main channel. Gross. I don't know. This area, I mean, this area could be fairly linear, but it's... I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was going in circles before I found my way. So we're out of Basilisk Cowl. So let's go ahead and find our way back. Okay, here we go. So here are all the dead rats. There's that. Here we go. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. The downside is the enemies are all going to respawn, but that's okay. Climb up here. And then let's also see about this spell attunation. Attunation? Attunation? How do you say that? Attuning of spells. Good. Plus, let's see about maybe doing a quick leveling while we're here. First, we're going to reverse hollowing. Make ourselves human. Nice. And let's look at attune magic. Okay, so we can't attune magic, that's okay. We are tanking. We do have quite a bit of that, so I feel like... Okay. So we need to work on our tuning, but that's not really in our wheelhouse, so vitality... Endurance... Yeah, we need to work on that, and our stamina too. And then our... Our strength is okay, but I think we need to work on our poison resist, particularly we're going to Blighttown, so I think that's what we want to do now. And that way, if we die, well, we'll be okay. So, okay. So with that being said, now we're going to go back to the boss area, and we can summon Solaire. Probably we're going to have more Estus. Maybe now that because we're human. Hang on, let me go back here really quickly and rest one more time. Okay, so we only still have 5 Estus. I wonder why we had 10 that one time. I don't know. Oh well. Whatever. Either way, this next boss fight has the reputation of giving players lots of hell, and that's one of the reasons why it is optional. Honestly, I'm just doing that mainly because I want to do a little bit of farming. Probably going the wrong way. Damn it, I did it again. Yeah, we are going the wrong way. I think. Is this the area that takes us back to the basilisks? Yes, it is. Okay. So we did go the wrong way. Did we? Oh, I'm getting turned around again. It's something to look forward to when I get to Blighttown, because that area is supposed to be confusing as hell. Okay, yeah, so this is the wall. Still, nothing wrong with doing a little bit of farming. Yeah, okay, so now we cut through here. And this will take us to the overhang. We ran into the summoner. Okay, so, yeah, that is confirmed. I don't want to go back to Basilisk Land. Okay, so... Luckily, this area is pretty easy to clear. So, we need to... go... No, can we go up here? No, I don't think we do. Yes, we do. No, we don't. This just takes us all the way back to... That area, that just takes us back to the big circle. We go down here. There we go. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm tired as hell. It's been a very long week, and it's been an even more taxing couple of months. So if I'm not as cheeky as I normally am, well, that's why. Shortcut ahead. We've already looked at that. Okay, yeah. Yes, we want to step on the slime. Closer, and then it goes down in flames. Go over here, I think. Didn't think I remember this time, did you, kids? Yeah, you just go ahead and huck it off the end. This... You're an agile little sucker, aren't you? I think this is the ambush. Nope. No, we are going the wrong way. We are going the wrong way. Oh! I was wondering if this was going to happen. Dark Knight Kirk. This is an NPC. This is not a player character. This is somebody that can invade you 3 times in the game. And what's interesting about Kirk... Yeah, spiked shield. You know we're gonna have to look at this really quickly. I apologize. Hang on. So it's a higher... It's got less damage reduction, but it's got a higher damage to it. Shield of the infamous Dark Wraith Kirk, Knight of Thorns covered with spikes. Can be used as a weapon. Shark spikes cause heavy bleeding. So, Kirk, like I said, he can invade you up to 3 times in-game. But a lot of people think because he's listed as a Wraith that he's part of the Dark Wraith Covenant, which we'll experience later on in-game. But according to some of the lore that I've gathered, he is actually a Chaos Servant, a worshipper of the Witch Izalith and the Pyromancy crew. Now, we'll get more into the subject of Chaos and Izalith as we journey deeper into the realm, because that's going to be a heavy subject when we get to the bottom of Queeleg, as she is a daughter of Chaos and will have access to the Daughters of Chaos Covenant. Right now, we are looking for help against this next monster. No, Solaire, you gotta be around here somewhere, buddy. I have faith in you, my friend. Where are you? Give me a sign. Maybe they're down 1 level. That's the one we came in. Anything in the corner again? No summon signs? Nope. Okay. That's okay. So down we go. I need at least 1 NPC, because otherwise fighting this person is going to be a burden. And then we'll be on our merry way. Come on, it's like what Siegmeyer said. Or not Siegmeyer, Solaire. Some jolly cooperation. I need you here, buddy. There's 1. Okay, so that... Yes, Solaire. We're definitely summoning you, good night. To a jolly old bow when he comes around. Hello, my friend. Let's see if there's anybody else. Oh, so we can summon Lorethrough. Just like doing that. So before we go in, I'm actually going to switch over to the Battle Axe and resin up. Let's see what this does. I'm a little bit nervous, just because with the horror stories that I've heard about this one. Actually, yeah, hang on. So switch over to Battle Axe +5. But the resin should help us immensely. And I forget who I was talking to on Twitter. It might have been Dark Cloud. About... No, it was, was it Shadow? I forget. Somebody we were talking about the, It was Shadow. About this particular boss. With that being said, let's do this, boys. The last of the everlasting dragons. Come on, target. That's not what I wanted to do. Throw your temper tantrum, buddy. Solaire is just getting pummeled. I know this is a cheap shot. I'm just. Come on, Slayer, use your. I know you can chop off the tail. And he just completely one-shotted me. I got greedy there. That's okay. Let's go ahead and go back to the well. Let's go. We have plenty of humanity, so I want to summon them again. I know the head's the more damaging part, but at the same time, I was trying to get Lorethrough and Slayer to aggro him, and I would just wail from behind, which is probably what I should stick to. No worries. No worries at all. One death, that's expected when you're in a game like this. Now, I don't know how the Gaping Dragon morphed like it did. I don't know if it was exposed to Chaos or the Abyss, which we'll talk about further down the pike, or if it just simply was what happened after the Age of Fire, which replaced the Age of Ancients, I believe it was what it was called. The Age of Ancients was around when the dragons were there, and then the Age of Fire happened. There's different speculations to when the Age of Fire started, whether it was when the Four Lords found the first flame, or when it was after the dragons were defeated. So, like, after the Age of One came the Age of New. But that's a cool little speculation. And one other thing I do want to discuss, speaking of the first flame, is something that I believe was confirmed in the Japanese interview with Miyazaki, was that the first flame existed, and then the Four Lords found the souls around the first flame, not within the first flame like a lot of fans say. So I found that very interesting that the Lord Souls were found around that, but not directly in. But I don't think it was confirmed or disproven by FromSoft that the Age of Fire came right after the Age of Ancients. All right, come on. We can have tea time later, boys. We gotta kill some stuff. Okay, hang on. Let's fix the... There you go. So let's fix the AI a little bit. Lorethrough, there you go. Slayer, you with me? I need both of you. Okay, there we go. Hello, Slayer. And round two. I didn't expect to one-shot this guy. There we go. We've already seen the cutscene. Nope. Target. There we go. Watch it, dude. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. God, it's so there. Just... Quit doing that attack. dude. Yeah, Solaris is about to bite it. Yep, Solaris dust in the wind. Oh god, I'm dead. Wow. Oh my god. Let's try it one more time, and then I think we'll call it a night. That's a little tougher than I anticipated. Yeah, I think it was Shadow that talked about that scumbag. Maybe I will buy some more gold pine resin off of, well, if I can get the souls. Let's go ahead and see if we can get... Oh, we got plenty of these other souls. There's no point in trying to farm. We just crunch a few souls, go back to Dom Hall, Lucina, and then maybe buy one more piece of old pine resin and use that on our axe. If we can get Solaire to keep his distance and throw like a sun spear, that would be marvelous. But now you can see how our weapons aren't becoming of the greatest use. I see you up there. Go ahead and just trigger him as you did last time. Oop. Off you. Talk back to Dom Hall. Probably don't have enough, so let's go ahead and crunch Soul the Nameless Soldier. This should be enough for us to... Yep, there we go.
Thank you. That was a fine trip.
Yeah, well, let's see what good it does me. I mean, I think it's the head that we really can do the most damage on. But you've also seen the amount of damage that he can do. So let's try and keep Solaire a little bit safe. I mean, if we can get him enough distance to do his lightning attacks, that would be just incredible. Summon you. And once again, I'm going to try and do all the optional boss fights in this game. Option has been summoned. Now, it's summoned Solaire. Yes, we want you to come to us, Solaire. And I want you to praise the sun gesture. I do like this concept, though, about how they've been summoned across dimensions, so we don't even know what plane they are on. Boys? There it is. There we go. And now, we resume our boss fight. Hi. Target. And we just got completely steamrolled. We're gonna do this one more time. Because I feel like... Here it is, drink sword. We're gonna do this one more time. It's okay. Playing for about an hour, but I do want to see what we can do. We'll do some quick farming here and there. Maybe we can get it off these slimes and the hollows. We only need 1,000. And here comes the rest of the cavalry. I forgot about that. Trap. Trap. Nope. Caught that. Once again, I'm falling into the Dark Souls trap of getting greedy, and that's what's causing me to... But I feel like when you are with a resin, you've got to use it while you can. That is the trap that all Souls players falls into. I mean, even just fighting these slimes, I'm going crazy trying to destroy them. And now we can move on our own merry way. And we've already got 720 souls, so just by doing a little bit more farming, we can get the gold pine resin once more, and then get our humanity, and hopefully by gathering our bloodstain, we can move on. One more thing of pine resin from good old Domhall. But, I mean, even fighting the Gaping Dragon as is, it's still not Havel, and it's still not bloody Gaping Dragon. Everything at this point is going to fall into the Capra Demon. Even the Democracy during his hardest boss fights talked about how tough the Capra Demon was. I believe it was in the top 10. I don't know if you don't follow the Democracy. He is a Let's Player who also talks a lot about. Really?
Well, that is a shame. But no.
Well, there is something over here that apparently we missed. Another. Oh, you idiot. Now we should have enough. There we go. Another large Titanite shard. That's good for our buffing of our axe.
Thank you. That was a fine trip.
Yeah, I bet it was. I always wondered about just... I mean, I know souls prevent them from going hollow. The undead from going hollow. But what use is it to, say, a non-undead, like Petrus? How do they do with deals? Like, how do they make deals without harnessing the powers of souls? Like, let's say Petrus and Rhea were not together. How could Petrus, say, buff up his his weaponry, or buy Titanite or something like that from, say, Andre. He can't give in coins, he can't deal in talismans. We're actually going to Estus up, even though there's not much, because you just saw how Gaping just steamrolled me. Boys, ready again? Round 4. Give me your lightning, Slayer. We're not gonna get any lightning, are we? Keep your distance, Slayer. Solaire. Come on. There is that attack we wanted to see it. Solaire, lightning attack, please. So I think this is as good of a place as any to stop for the night. We've died quite a few times. I've been playing for about an hour now, and I think we really can't do too much anymore. So I'm going to do a little more research on the Gaping Dragon so we can surprise you with some stuff, and then when we pick up the pace next, we'll hopefully be on our way to Blighttown. But then again, you really can't go into any boss fight with high hopes because it's bound to change, so whatever. It is what it is. I'm not terribly salty. So, with that being said, before I call it a night, thank you so much to Christoph. I really do appreciate you being a sponsor of the Boogie Night Project. If you, once again, if you want to check out excellent low-poly horror games, check the link in the description below. His games are fantastic. As always, thank you guys so much for sending me feedback and options and everything like that. I do read every comment, and I try to reply to every comment, so if you have something you want to give me tips, techniques, without venturing into the backseat gaming, I would greatly appreciate it. That's what makes the Dark Souls community so awesome. So, of course, with that being said, before I call it a night, if you like the Boogie Night Project and you want to find out more, I do have a Twitter page as well as a public Discord channel, and links to both of those are in the description below, as well as a link to my temporarily defunct Twitch page, and if you're so morbidly inclined, my Patreon account. So otherwise, I hope y'all have a fantastic evening, and I'll catch you on the flip side, alright? Peace.